Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speak English Daily. I'm Emma, and wow, I'm so happy to see you again. Thank you so much for coming back. And if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad you found this channel. You're in exactly the right place. Now, let me ask you something, and this is for everyone. Whether you've been learning English for 6 months or 6 years, have you ever been in this situation? Someone asks you, "So, what did you do yesterday?" And suddenly, your mind goes blank. You want to answer, but you think, "Wait, how do I say this? Do I say, I go to work? No, that's wrong. I going to work? No, that doesn't sound right either." And the other person is waiting, looking at you, and you feel the pressure building. Finally, you remember, I went to work. But then you think, why went? Why not go? Why does it change? This happens to so many English learners, and I totally get it, because talking about the past in English can feel confusing. Verbs change in weird ways. Go becomes went. Eat becomes ate. Take becomes took. And you're thinking, is there a rule? Can someone please just tell me the rule? Well, here's the thing. Yes, there are some rules, but also English is a little bit crazy. Some verbs follow the rules, and some verbs, they just do whatever they want. But don't worry, because by the end of today's lesson, past simple is going to feel so much clearer, so much easier. I promise. Today, I'm going to tell you a story. It's about a guy named Alex. And I'm going to tell you about his last Monday, what he did, where he went, what happened that day. Now, if you watched my previous video, you already know Alex. You know his typical Monday routine. And today, we're going to hear about last Monday, the exact same story, but everything is in the past. So you can see exactly how the verbs change. It's like a before and after, super clear. And if you're brand new and you didn't watch that first video, that's totally fine. You don't need to. This lesson works perfectly on its own. You're going to learn everything you need about past simple right here. So take a deep breath. Relax. Let's learn this together. Let's talk about what Alex did last Monday. Okay, before we jump into Alex's story, let me tell you why past simple is actually one of the most important tenses you can learn. Think about it. When do you use English in real life? You use it to talk about your experiences, right? Your day, your weekend, what happened at work, what you did last night. Someone asks, "How was your day?" You need past simple. What did you do this weekend? Past simple. Did you finish that project? Past simple. This tense is everywhere. It's how you tell stories. It's how you share your life with people. It's how you connect. So when do we use past simple? There are really 3 main situations, and they're all about finished actions. Things that happened and ended. They're done, over, in the past. Situation 1. Something happened at a specific time in the past. Could be yesterday, could be last week, could be 5 minutes ago, could be 10 years ago. Doesn't matter. If it happened at a specific time, and it's finished, that's past simple. I woke up at 6:30 yesterday. She moved to New York 6 months ago. We met in 2015. Situation 2. A series of actions in the past. Like when you're telling a story about what happened. First this, then that, then that. I woke up, brushed my teeth, made coffee, and left the house. See? A sequence of finished actions. Situation 3. A past habit or situation that's no longer true. Something you used to do, but don't do anymore. I worked at a restaurant for 2 years, meaning I don't work there now. That's in the past. She lived in Chicago when she was young. Not anymore, but back then, yes. Now, here's what you need to know about past simple verbs. There are 2 types, regular and irregular. And I'm going to be really honest with you. The irregular ones are annoying. But they're also super common, so we have to learn them. Regular verbs are easy. You just add ed to the end. Work, worked. Play, played. Simple. But irregular verbs, they change completely. And there's no pattern, no rule. You just have to memorize them. Go, went. Have, had. Eat, ate. Buy, bought. Feel, felt. Why? Because English is weird. That's just how it is. But here's the good news. There are only about 200 irregular verbs that people actually use. And of those, maybe 50 are super common. Once you know those 50, you're golden. And today, through Alex's story, you're going to hear a lot of them in context. And context makes them so much easier to remember. All right, ready to meet Alex and hear about his last Monday? Let's go. Alex's story, morning to evening. So last Monday, let me take you through Alex's day. And as I tell you the story, just listen. Don't stress about the grammar yet. Just hear how it sounds. Feel the rhythm of the language. Last Monday morning, Alex woke up at 6:30 a.m. His alarm rang, and he got out of bed. He lives in a small apartment with 2 roommates. They share 1 bathroom, so Alex was quick in the morning. He took a shower, he brushed his teeth, he got dressed in his work clothes, black pants, and a white t-shirt. Then he went to the kitchen. Alex didn't eat a big breakfast last Monday. He didn't have much time. He made instant coffee, just hot water and coffee powder. He ate 2 pieces of toast with peanut butter. That was his breakfast. His roommate Maria cooked scrambled eggs. Last Monday morning, they smelled amazing. But Alex didn't have time to cook. He needed to leave at 7:20 a.m. At 7:20, Alex left his apartment. He walked to the subway station. It took 10 minutes. Alex doesn't drive. He doesn't own a car. In New York, the subway is faster and cheaper. The train came at 7:30. It was Monday morning, so the train was very crowded. Alex got on and stood near the door. The ride took 45 minutes. During this time, Alex practiced English on his phone. He used a language learning app. he did a quick lesson, just 10 minutes. At 8:15 a.m., Alex arrived at the restaurant. It's called Giovanni's. He works as a prep cook. That means he prepares ingredients for the main chefs. Last Monday, he chopped onions, tomatoes, and peppers. He made marinara sauce, a red tomato sauce for pasta. He prepared chicken breasts for the lunch menu. It's physical work, but Alex likes it. He felt productive. His boss is Marco. Marco speaks Italian and English, but he doesn't speak Spanish. Alex's first language, so last Monday, Alex spoke English all day at work. 6 months ago, this was scary. Alex made many mistakes, but last Monday it was better. He understood most things. He still made mistakes, but he improves every week. The restaurant opens at 11 a.m. Last Monday, from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. was the busiest time. Lunch rush. Orders came in fast. The kitchen got hot and loud. Alex moved quickly. He didn't talk much. He focused on his work. At 2 p.m., the lunch rush ended. Alex took his break. He ate the staff meal. Last Monday, it was pasta with meatballs. He sat in the back and rested for 30 minutes. His shift ended at 6 p.m. Alex was tired, but last Monday, he didn't go straight home. At 6:15 p.m., Alex left the restaurant. He took the subway to the community center. Last Monday was his English class day. The class started at 6:30 p.m. and finished at 8:30 p.m. His teacher is Ms. Johnson. She's about 50 years old and very patient. Ms. Johnson doesn't speak Spanish, so everyone speaks English in class. Last Monday, they practiced asking and answering questions about daily routines. Miss Johnson asked questions. Learners answered. Do you have a job? Yes, I do. I work at a restaurant. Do you like your job? Yes, I like it. Back and forth, practicing. Alex felt good in this class. 6 months ago, he didn't speak English well. But last Monday, he understood almost everything. At 8:30 p.m., class ended. Alex walked to the subway station. He was hungry. On the way home, he stopped at a small grocery store. He bought rice, chicken, and vegetables. Last Monday night, he didn't buy expensive things because he saves money to send home to his family. Alex arrived home at 9:15 p.m. He was very tired, but he cooked dinner. He made fried rice with chicken and vegetables, a simple meal from his home country. His roommate Maria smelled the food. She asked, Alex, what do you cook? It smells so good. Alex smiled and said, just fried rice. Do you want some? Maria said yes, and they ate together. After dinner, Alex did his homework from class. Ms. Johnson always gives homework on Mondays. Last Monday, he wrote 10 sentences about his daily routine. I wake up at 6:30. I take the subway to work. I work at Giovanni's restaurant. I don't drive a car. I study English on Monday evenings. At 10 p.m., Alex called his mother back home. She asked, "How was your day?" Alex said, "Good, Mama. I work hard. I study English. I'm okay." They talked for 15 minutes. Alex missed his family so much, but he knew why. He was in New York. He has big dreams. At 10:30 p.m., Alex went to bed. He set his alarm for 6:30 a.m. The next day was Tuesday, a different day, but Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are the same. He wakes up, works, studies English, and sleeps. This was Alex's last Monday. Simple, honest, hard work. But Alex didn't give up. He showed up. He tried. And that's past simple, the tense we use to talk about things that happened and finished in the past. Okay, so you just heard Alex's entire Monday, and I hope you noticed something. When I told you about what Alex did last Monday, a specific day in the past, all those verbs changed. They weren't the same as when we talk about his typical routine. Let me show you what I mean. In the first video, when we talked about Alex's typical Monday, I said Alex wakes up at 6:30. But just now, I said Alex woke up at 6:30. See the difference? Wakes versus woke. He takes a shower became he took a shower. He goes to the kitchen became he went to the kitchen. He doesn't have time became he didn't have time. That's what past simple does. It changes the verb to show us that this action is finished. It's in the past. It's not happening right now. So how does this work? Let me break it down in a way that actually makes sense. First, the easy ones. Regular verbs. Most verbs in English, and this is good news, most verbs are regular. And regular verbs follow a simple pattern. Just add ed to the end. Listen to these from Alex's story. Walk, walked. He walked to the subway station. Cook, cooked. Maria cooked scrambled eggs. Arrive, arrived. Alex arrived at work at 8:15. Talk, talked. They talked for 15 minutes. Ask, asked. She asked questions. See? Just add ed. And here's what's beautiful about past simple. It's the same for everyone. I worked, you worked, he worked, she worked, we worked, they worked. All the same. You don't have to worry about adding an S for he, she, it, like you do in present simple. One form. Everyone uses the same form. That's actually easier, right? Now, a couple of spelling things. If the verb already ends in E, you just add D. Not ed, just D. Like liked. Alex liked his job. Smile, smiled. Move, moved. And if the verb ends in Y, you change it to IED. Study, studied. Try, tried. Worry, worried. But that's just spelling. The important thing is you hear that ed sound at the end. That's how you know it's past. Okay, now the irregular verbs. These are the tricky ones because they don't follow the ED rule. They just change completely, and there's no pattern. You just have to learn them. Let's look at the ones from Alex's story. Wake, woke. Alex woke up. Get, got. He got out of bed. Take, took. He took a shower. Go, went. He went to the kitchen. Make, made. He made coffee. Eat, ate. He ate toast. Leave, left. He left at 7:20. Come, came. The train came at 7:30. Stand, stood. He stood near the door. Buy, bought. He bought rice and vegetables. Feel, felt. He felt productive. These are all irregular, and yes, it's annoying that there's no rule. But here's the thing. These are also the most common verbs in English, the verbs you use every single day, so it's worth learning them. And the more you hear them in stories like this, the more natural they become. Now, what about negatives? When you want to say something didn't happen, this is actually simpler than you might think. You just use didn't for everyone. Doesn't matter if it's I, you, he, she, it, we, or they. Everyone gets didn't. I didn't, you didn't, he didn't, she didn't, we didn't, they didn't. All the same. And here's the magic part. After didn't, the verb goes back to its original form. No ed, no irregular form, just the base verb. Listen to these from Alex's story. He didn't eat a big breakfast. Not didn't ate, just didn't eat. He didn't have much time. Not didn't had, just didn't have. He didn't talk much. Not didn't talked, just didn't talk. He didn't go straight home. Not didn't went, just didn't go. He didn't buy expensive things. Not didn't bought, just didn't buy. See? The didn't already tells us it's past, and it's negative. So the verb doesn't need to change. It stays simple. Questions work the same way. You use did at the beginning for everyone. Did I? Did you? Did he? Did she? Did we? Did they? And again, after did, the verb stays in its base form. Did you work yesterday? Not did you worked. Did he go to class? Not did he went. Did she eat breakfast? Not did she ate. And how do you answer? Simple. Yes, I did. Or no, I didn't. Yes, he did, or no, he didn't. This is how past simple works. Once you understand this pattern, regular verbs get ed. Irregular verbs change. But after didn't and did, everything goes back to base form. Once you get this, you can talk about anything that happened in the past. Any story, any experience, anything. Before we wrap up, let me give you some time expressions that you'll use all the time with past simple. These are like your toolkit. Whenever you hear these words, you know, okay, this is past tense time. For yesterday and recent past. Yesterday, yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, last night, this morning, if it's now afternoon or evening, an hour ago, 2 days ago, a few minutes ago. These all say, this just happened recently. For last week, month, year, last week, last Monday, last Tuesday, any day of the week, last weekend, last month, last year, last summer, last winter. These all say this happened in a recent period that's finished. For specific times in the past, in 2020, in January, in the summer, on Monday, on my birthday, on New Year's Day, at 3 p.m., at midnight. These give a specific time in the past. For telling stories in sequence, first, then, after that, next, finally, before, after, these help you tell a story in order. And some common questions you'll hear all the time. What did you do yesterday? How was your weekend? Did you have a good day? Where did you go? What happened? These questions are asking for past simple. They're asking you to tell a story about the past. So whenever you hear these time words or whenever someone asks you these questions, you know, okay, time to use past simple. Time to change those verbs to past tense. So, we've spent this time together learning about past simple through Alex's story. And you heard about his last Monday, a real day, a finished day, a day in the past. And if you watched part 1, you can compare. Same story, same Alex, same Monday activities, but part 1 was present simple, talking about what he does every Monday, his routine. And today was past simple, talking about what actually happened last Monday, that one specific day. This is the key to understanding English tenses. It's not just about memorizing rules, it's about understanding. Am I talking about my routine, or am I talking about what happened yesterday? That changes everything. Remember Alex. Last Monday, he woke up early. He worked hard. He went to English class. Even though he was tired, he practiced. He studied. He cooked. He called his mother. He didn't give up. He showed up. And that's what you're doing too. You're here. You're learning. You came back for part 2. You're trying. You're not giving up. And I'm really proud of you for that. And here's something exciting. In the next episode, we're going to do a Q&A about Alex's last Monday. We're going to practice asking and answering questions about what happened. So you'll get to practice past simple even more. So make sure you come back for that. Your homework for today? Write 5 to 10 sentences about your last Monday. What did you do? Where did you go? What happened? Simple sentences. And if you want, post them in the comments below. I read every comment, and I'll give you feedback. I'll help you practice. Also, there's a free PDF in the description. It has 50 past simple sentences and a list of the most common irregular verbs. Download it. Practice with it. Use it. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for learning with me. Remember, you don't become fluent overnight, but every lesson, every practice, every story you hear, you're getting better. Just like Alex, small steps, every single day. I'm Emma from Speak English Daily. Come back next week for part 3. We're going to talk about next Monday. and learn future tenses. Keep practicing. Keep showing up. You're doing amazing. I'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.